28th of December, Wednesday, Vyakarana Vibhagaha. Let's do Mangalacharanam Prathamataha Kriyate. Ramo Rajmanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bhyata Nishachara Shumu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittale Sada Bhotame Bho Rama Mamudhara. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnam Iti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Ayi Un Rilruk E Ong Ai Auch Hayavarat Lan Nyama Nyamanga Nam Javai Ghadadash Jabagadash Kapha Chata Chata Tav Kapai Sha Sar Hal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. Okay, again 28th December 2011. The last class, one small correction is that I think by mistake in this form Bhavaha we had last time we were doing this form. I had a typo in the document which I'd like to correct. So here, when you derive the form, bhavaha. So bhusattayam, because the pratyaya ghai, the sutram, the vishesha sutram, special sutram, shri ni bhuvo nupasarge. When I put the prakriya down, unfortunately I put 3318 by mistake. It should be 3324. I mean, the class was fine. We talked in the class, but just on the board, I had the wrong number. So 3324, because as we discussed in the class last time, is that the apavada for apavada for ghai is these two rows, which is the erach and rudo rap, erach and rudo rap. So ghai is coming here. 33 starts from anuvritti starts from here of 3316, and then we have bhave Akriti Chakarike Sanyayam, and Yapavada comes over there down here, which is a Rach and Rudo Rap. But a special Sutram 3324, which is Shri Ni Bhuvo Nupasarge, that is used, that tells us if Upasarga is not there, then following these dhatus, Ghain can be used. So that's what we used to derive the form Bhavaha. So everything was fine, except in the document, by mistake, again I put 3318. It should be 3324. With bhu you cannot use 3318 because 3318 will be overruled by 3357 rudo rap, because bhu is uvarnanta dhatu. So rudo rap would overrules the ghai pratyaya in the case of bhu, but then specifically 3324 says that if for these three dhatus shri, ni and bhu, if upasarga is not there in upapadam, then ghai can be used. Okay, so that was the thing, 3324. The other thing is that the Bhagavad Gita shlokaha of Prabhavaha, that was 10.8. I think I had 10.7 by mistake. 10.8. In the case of Prabhavaha, the sutram is, we go back to Rudo Rap by 3357. So I only thing I had the wrong shloka number, should be 10.8 in Gita. 10.8 in Gita in the form Prabhavaha. We use Rudo Rap because Upasarga is there. That time we used 3357. So shloka in Gita was 10.8, not 10.7. 10.8, not 10.7. Just double check it one more time. Yes, it is 10.8. Okay. Okay, so let me take that off the board. So that is what I just want to start with, making those corrections. And now, today we'll continue with the topic we started last time. We are now in the adhikar of Tadhitaha, Tadhitaha adhikaraha. So let me take this off of here. So Tadhitaha starts from 4176. 4176 starts Tadhitaha. Tadhitaha 4176, and that goes up to the end of chapter 5. End of chapter 5. For example, we have that's the first thing to remember, is the Dita Adhikara starts from 4176, and we keep on repeating that many times because these Adhikaras are very important in Ashtadhyayi, where we are. It's like coming to a new country. When you come to a new country, you know, it's a new language, new currency, new everything. Same thing here. When you come to Adhikara, it sets a new tone for everything. So Tadhita starts from 4176, goes to the end of chapter 5. We already seen, for example, the Adhikara of Samasantaha, which we have studied, which starts from 5468. That is also part of the Tadhita Adhikara, which starts from 4176. So Tadhita ends at end of 5.4. Okay, now in that, as we introduced last time that Panini has a way of setting these pratyaya and the artha nirdesha. Artha nirdesha means the meaning in which pratyaya comes, and the prakriti nirdesha. Prakriti means which base can take the affix. Now let's not forget one more thing, is the Dhita Adhikara isn't the Adhikara of Nya Pratipadikat. Starts from 411. So these pratyas we're talking about will come after Pratikadikam, not after Dhatu, because Dhatu Adhikara ends at the end of chapter 3. Now, the Adhikara of Pratyaya Parascha continues, of course, from 311, 312 Pratyaya Parascha. So these Tadhitaha, they come after, they are Pratyayaha by 311, and they come Paraha by 312, and they come after a Pratipadikam, not after a Dhatu. Okay, now the first thing we saw that Panini sets some default pratyayaha, utsargaha. So that is, so the important sutra we saw last time was pragdivyaton. Pragdivyaton, the pratyaya an is default. So if no other pratyaya is specifically mentioned, then an will present itself all the way up to 442. Divyat shabda paryantam an adhikriyate. Means that up to the word divyat, the pratyaya an will be the default, and the divyat comes in tena divyati khanati jayati jitam, up to the word divyat. We saw that. Now last time we also saw the adhikaraha of tasyapatyam. Tasyapatyam adhikaraha we saw last time. We introduced that. We'll be seeing more of the adhikaraha in today's class, and also I think next week also. Maybe week after also, probably next week we should finish that one. So, tasyapatyam. Now in the book, what's happening here? Let's go to the book. In the book, we are on page number 144. 144. Now in the book, what he has done pratyayanusarena. He has done pratyaya-wise. The discussion in the book, we are again on page number 144, point number 219. And here he goes by pratyaya, by affix. So he puts the pratyaya an and tak, and then on this page pratyaya dhak and yai. So he has not gone according to the arthanusarena, which is not according to the meaning of the pratyaya, but he's gone around to the pratyaya itself. Now when we look at adhikara like tasyapatyam, for example, there will be various pratyas will be coming over there. For example, of course, as we just talked about, the pratyaya an is coming by default from back here, but then we'll see a sutram today at the e, so e is being prescribed, and then we'll have some gargadibhyo, yang is prescribed. So various pratyas will come in this adhikara, because as we said, there are going to be three things we have to match, we have to put together. This is trayam, so tattvatrayam, we can say three principles we have to get in, which is the tritayam, we can say the pratyaya, the prakriti, and then artha, in which meaning. In the book, he has taken by the pratyaya, but in Ashtadhyayi, what Panini will do is that he will set some pratyayas as defaults. He start introducing adhikaras based on the meaning, in which meaning the pratyaya will come. So we cannot get a one-to-one match between the Ashtadhyayi order and the book, Antoine Book order, because Antoine Book is giving group by pratyayas. So for the pratyaya an will be used in variety of meanings. Variety of meaning will be used. So they will come in variety of places in Ashtadhyayi, and of course in the section of the Dhitaha, variety of places. So that is why when we are going to see what's going to happen now is that we are going, for example, this adhikara of tasyapatyam, the sense of somebody's progeny. Now that will, as I said, will use variety of pratyayas. So an will be default coming in, but then e will be coming. Then we have pratyaya dhak coming, stribhyo dhak coming, and so on and so forth. And then what's going to happen is that so we are going to end up seeing adhikara of tasyapatyam not only in this point number 1, but also in point number 2, also in point number 3. So because also in point number 4 is a good example. So in point number 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the book, we are going to see the same adhikara again, tasyapatyam, because these 4 pratyas among others are used in the adhika tasyapatyam. So we are going to have some, so when we try to finish this point number 1 in the book, we are going to have to jump to different adhikara in Ashtadhyay, because an will be used in variety of meanings. Okay. Now last time, going to our document here, we were in the we had finished this one form, I think, at Bhargavaha. Let's refresh ourselves that the 4 or 5 rules which the book introduced, Anga Karyani. So this is all not to be confused with the Anga Karyam. See, once you put the structure of the Ashtadhyay Rachana is such that in chapters 3, 4 and 5, Panini puts the Pratyaya Nirdeshaha. He puts the Prakriti and Pratyaha in place, and of course in a certain meaning. Once those building blocks are ready, then we go to chapter 6, 7, 8 to do the Angakaryam and the Rupa Siddhi to finish up the form. So these rules which we saw in the book last time, at the beginning, at the top, point number 208, that's all Angakaryam. That tells what kind of operations, interactions will take place between the Pratyaya and the Prakriti. So those we saw last time, we can quickly refresh for today, because we'll be using those over and over again. So tadhiteshvachamadehe is niti cha tadhiteshvachamaade racho vriddhisyat. Look at the number 72117. We are already very familiar with 72116. So 72116, 115, 116, achodnyati, as well as atupadhayaha. So those two are very well known to us. So we know what Expanivritya Vriddhi is coming down from the prior sutram. So here it is, 72115. Achodnyati we have seen daily examples many times. Atupadhaya we have seen. And then comes the Diteshvachamadehe. So it's a very easy extension of that. Important thing is that Yadi Adirach. So the Achamadehe, I shouldn't say Adirach. See, among the vowels, the first among the vowels. It doesn't have to be the beginning of the word. It doesn't have to be the beginning of the Prajapadikam. Among the vowels in the Angam, the first vowel will take Vriddhi Adeshaha. If the Pratyaya following is the Tadhita Sanya, and it is either a Chavarga Panchama or Tavarga Panchama as an it. The next sutram says Kiticha, which means that the Pratyaya is a Kit. Also same thing happens. But it has to be Tadhita Pratyaya. The one thing confusing here, which we mentioned last time, is the Sutram 115, which we have used in the daily examples many times, is Kiniticha. That does the Guna Vriddhi Nishedha. Iglakshana Guna Vriddhi Nishedha. But that is not for Tadhitas. This one is for Tadhitas, which is the 72118 Kiticha. So these two sutras, 117, 118, are only applying for the Tadhita Pratyaya. Okay, so now let us, that was the first rule which we saw last time. And then we saw Yasya Ticha, which actually we have seen before also. If the Angam, if you look at the number 64148, just remind ourselves that the Bhasya Adhikaraha goes from 64129 to end of chapter 6. So Yasya Ticha. Yasya Ticha is coming in the adhikara of Bhasya Adhikaraha. So if the Angam is the Bhasanya, and then if the Angam ends in the Avarnaha, means long or short, Akara atva Akaraha, or in the Ivarnaha, Dirgha Rasva Ikara atva Dirgha Ikaraha, then Tadhite Ikare Chapare Lopasyat. So if such an Angam, which has the Bhasanya and ends in the Avarnaha or Ivarnaha, and if the Pratyaya following is either the Ikaraha or any Tadhita Pratyaya, Angam takes Lopaha, means Alontyasya, that ending Avarna or Ivarnaha takes Lopaha. Then we also saw Or Gunaha. Uvarna Oho is the Shashtiya Kvachanam of U, like Guroho. So Uvarna Antasya Bhasya Guna Bhoti Tadhite Parataha. Yeah, again look at the number 64146. The Bhasyadikara, Angam has the Bhasanya, it ends in the Uvarnaha. The Pratyaya following is the Dita Pratyaha, it takes Guna Adeshaha. Actually, the anuvritti of Tadhite comes from the Sutram Nastadhite. So these three are the Adhikara of Bhasya. So this one, this one, this one. Then the Bhasyadikara. And this one says Nastadhite is Nantasya Bhasya Te Lopastadhite. If you have Nakarantam Angam has the Bhasanya followed by Pratyaya, which is the Dita Sanya, the Angam, the T Bhaga of the Angam takes Lopaha, Achivantyadi T. So these are three rules we saw in the Bhasyadikara. So these are what we saw. Now, continuing today, so that was in the book in the top of on page, this point 208. Now, last time we derived this form Bhargavaha, Bhrugorapatyam Bhargavaha, Apatyam Puman. So a male offspring of Bhrugu is called. One more thing to remind you is that if you're talking about the feminine, then the Pratyaya An is listed in this Sutram 4115, nice musical Sutram 4115. It says Tidhanai. So An is here. Tit, Dha and An. And among variety of pratyayas, so when the Prajapadikum ends in one of these pratyayas, then in the Striyam, Nip, so it gets the Ikara, so become Bhargavi. So Bhargavaha in masculine, Bhargavi in the feminine. So Pratyaya An has been listed in this 4115. So if you're using An to get at the end of Prajapadikum, Pratyaya Nip will be used in the feminine to get the form Bhargavi. So let's quickly look at what we derived last time. We derived the form Bhargava. So what we did was we used the Adhikara of Pragdivya to An. I said An is default all the way from 4183 to 442. And Tasya Patyam, the Apatyam doesn't have to be the Anantara Patyam. It could be, Pautraha, Prapautraha ityadi. So, Teshu api Pratyaha Prayujyante. So we can in those meanings also of grandson, great grandson, whatever it might be, as long as in the line of that person, in the progeny of that person, so Vamshajaha, then we can use the Pratyaya, these which are given in the Adhikara of Tasyapatyam. Tasyapatyam doesn't have to be Anantarapatyam. It can be anybody, like we say Raghavaha. It could be any descendant of Raghu, descendant. So good word, descendant is a nice word, descendant of Raghu. Raghavaha doesn't have to be the son of Raghu. It could be anybody. So it could be Dasharatha, it could be Rama, of course, because Prasiddhatvat, Rama, it is Rama because that's the most famous descendant of Raghu, but Vyakarana wise, it doesn't have to, it could be any descendant of Raghu. So, Tasyapsya Shashtyantat Kritasandehe Samarthad Apatyarthe Uktaha Vakshamanascha Pratyaya Vasyo. Very nice vritti here, always I said to you after you see the Sutram, always check out the vritti. It says Shashtyantat, because this Tasya implies it should be Shashtyantam. And then following that, because we are in the Adhikara of Nyap Pratipadikat, Shashtyantat Kritasandehe. So Sandhikaram should be done inside the Angam first. Samarthad, there should be a logical relationship between the Shashtyantam and the meaning issue the Pratyaya is coming. For example, even as I said to you last time, we say Dasharathasya Guroho Apatyam, then the Apatyam is not Dasharatha. Dasharatha might be in Shashti, but doesn't mean you can blindly just put a Pratyaya as Adhikara. There should be Samarthyam. There should be a logical connection between Dasharatha and the Apatyam. So we say Dasharathasya Guror Apatyam, then even though Dasharatha is in Shashti, we cannot, make it Dasharathi. Clearly we cannot, because it's not Dasharatha's descendant of the Guru, not Dasharatha. So even the Shashtyantam is fine, but there should be Samarthat. So there should be a logical connection between them. Apatyarthe Uktaha Vakshamanascha. What is that now? Uktaha Vakshamanascha. Because as we just discussed, that Panini has set some default pratyaya, starting from here, from Pragdivya to An, and he also set some more, Ashwapatyadibhyascha, Ditya Patyutrapadanyaha, Utsadibhyo vai, Stripumsabhyam Naisnayau Bhavanat, Digo Luganapatye, and so Gotre Lugachi. So he sets these pratyas default pratyas which are to be used all the way down to certain places. So these are the uktaha. Means because when on tasyapatyam the vritti says that the pratyas should be coming are the ones which have already been specified, which are going to be specified. Ones which are already specified are coming from here, from pragdivyat and up to you. The look, some in the section are here, and then from there, sorry, one more is there for this fakfiyoranyatarasyam. So these from 83 to 91, Panini has done some pratyabhidhanam. So they are defaulting. They are by the default. They'll be coming. Now, why not only one default? For example, pragdivyato and is default for any after any pratipadikam all the way up to 442 and is to be defaulted. But for example, if you have the word stri or pums, then instead of and the default will be nai and snai respectively. So stri will take nai, pums will take snai. Up to the word bhavanat. I think bhavanat comes in chapter 5. So even though an is default for any pratipadikam, but specific pratipadikani, they will take defaults, but not an, but these set of defaults. So if the prakriti, for example, is 3, then nai is the default all the way up to the word bhavana. I think bhavana comes in chapter 5. So it is, let's see, bhavana comes in, let's see, bhavana, I think it's 5.2. 5.2 comes in bhavana. So following, let's see, yeah, bhavane. So that is set for as a default after 3. And just an example. Just an example is why so many defaults, because an is default after any pratipadikam. But other specific pratipadikani, they have their own. Some of them have their own defaults, and they go. So this is important to understand the structure of the Ashtadhyayi. Otherwise, you get confused. Sometimes the pratyaya is being prescribed, sometimes the meaning is given, sometimes it's this. So that's why in the vritti here when Bhattacharya says uktaha vakshyamanash pratyayasyo. So uktaha means those which have already been set as defaults before saying tasyapatyam, which means from 4183 to 4191. And vakshyamanash, which are going to be prescribed, means all the ones down here. Like for example, atai, nara, divyafthak, all of these, haritadibhyo, ai. So these are coming after tasyapatyam. So these pratyas only apply in the adhikar of tasyapatyam. These which are all down here. So they are the ones which are prescribed after saying tasyapatyam, means they will apply only adhikar of tasyapatyam. While the ones which are set before tasyapatyam, they will in general go beyond tasyapatyam. They will apply tasyapatyam, also go beyond that to later meanings also. That's why Panini, you may be wondering that, for example, why does Panini put utsadibhyo ai over here, correct? And then haritadibhyo ai down here. The same pratyaya ai, so why is Panini putting in two places like that? For the simple reason that this utsadibhyo ai will go up to pragdivyat, up to the word divyat. While haritadibhyo ai will only be confined to tasyapatyam adhikaraha. So I hope you're appreciating this structure. It's very important in Tadhitas to get, because we are kind of new in this adhikaraha. So I want to make sure that you're understanding that how Panini sets these default pratyas in some cases, which cover a variety of meanings. And sometimes in specific, only within that meaning, Panini will set a default. So we have to know exactly in what section, which they are coming. Okay, now, so that's why a good example here is that this sutram utsadibhyo ai will cover all the way to pragdivyat, up to the word up to 442. But the same pratyaya ai will come haritadibhyo ai. But this haritadibhyo ai is confined to the adhikar of tasyapatyam. So you have to know that this pratyaya ai will come after the word harita, etc., haritadibhyo, but only in the meaning of tasyapatyam. While this one back here, utsadibhyo, utsa, etc., words will take the pratyaya, but they will take all the way to 442, pragdivyato. So pragdivyat, up to the word divyat, pragdivyataha. Okay, so I hope you're getting some idea. Of course, we'll see more as we go along. So that is why these vrittis are very important. I cannot emphasize the vritti for the vrittis. We say tasyapatyam shashtyantat krita sandhehe samarthat apatyarthe ukta vakshyamānaśca pratyaya vasyuh. So it's very important, and this is, as I said to you, not only important for understanding, but as a mark of respect for the Vrittikaraha, Kashikakara and Bhattuji Dikshitaha. So Sammanartham, please read the Vrittis, please read them. They have spent their lives for us to make sure we understand Sutram correctly. So of course Panini's Sutram comes first, but the Vritti is extremely important, and try to understand every word from the Vritti is very carefully, very carefully selected. It is not just they put randomly something like that. It is tested by generations of scholars, and the Vritti has come through generation, because remember, between the Kashika and the Siddhanta Kaumudi is almost about, whatever, 800,000 years. So to generations of scholars have gone and refined these Vrittis, and finally Bhattoji Dikshita, of course, has put them for us. So this is the Vritti, Shashtyantat, Krutasandehe, Samarthat, Apatyarthe, Uktaha. Uktaha means what? One more time. Those which are set as default prior to Tasyapatyam is 4183 up to 4191, and Vakshyamana, which are about to be prescribed later, means, for example, Atai, etc., coming below Tasyapatyam. Now Tasyapatyam goes to the end of 4.1. Tasyapatyam goes to the end of 4.1. Okay. And then we derive this form, Bhrugorapatyam Puman Bhargavaha, a descendant of Bhrugu, a male descendant of Bhrugu. A male descendant of Bhrugu, get the form Bhargavaha. See, once the good news is that once you get the Pratyaya and Prakriti, Angakaryam is, Laghu. It is Sukaram, straightforward. So once you understand what the Prakriti is, what the Pratyaya is, in what meaning it came, generally speaking, the Angakaryam is straightforward. Like in this case, we had Bhrugu plus Nyas, because we had Shashtyantat. So this Tasya means to be Shashtyantam, Prajapadikam. And then An comes as default, Tasyapatyam. Nothing is overruling An in this case. The default stays as long as there is no Vishesh Vidhanam to overrule that. So you get Bhrugu plus A by Halantyam, and then don't forget, just like when we had Samasas, Tadita also Krit Tadita Samasascha. This Samudaya gets the Prajapadika Sanya. Then we do Supluk by Supo Dhatu Prajapadika Yoho, and then after that we do the Adivriddhi Taditeshvacham Adehe, because the Pratyaya An has Nakara as an It, Uran Raparaha becomes Bhargu plus A, and then Or Gunaha, because the Angam gets the Bhasanya. We did this last time. In the class, because by Yachibham, remember Yachibham is Swadishva Sarvanamasthane Yachibham. So 1417, 1418, as you have repeated many times repeated in the class, is that Swadishu is not only Supratyaha. Swadishu starts from 412, it goes all the way to end of chapter 5. So the Swadi includes not only the Supratyaha, all the Stri Pratyaha, as well as the Tadita Pratyaha. So they are all considered Swadi. As far as 1417, which is Swadishva Sarvanamasthane, and Yachibham is concerned. So Yachibham says Pratyaya which is Swadi, which includes all Tanditas, and as long as it's not Sarvanamasthana Sanya, Sarvanamasthana Sanya is only confined to some of the Supratyaya. So once you're beyond Sup, so if you're talking about Stri Pratyaya or the Taditaha, none of them are Sarvanamasthana Sanya. So this Asarvanamasthane doesn't apply anywhere in Stri Pratyayas or Tadita Pratyaya. So you can so when it comes to Taditas, you should know, so Swadishu, you get the Padasanya, and Yachibham, Bhasanya. Remember, let's be careful that the Bhasanya and the Padasanya is coming to the Angam, while the Sanya Sarvanamasthana and Swadi, that is for the Pratyaha. So be careful. The one more time is that when you add a Tadita Pratyaha, the Angam will get either Padasanya by 1417, Swadishva Sarvanamasthane, or Bhasanya by 1418. If the Pratyaya is either Yakaradi or Ajadi, then Angam gets the Bhasanya, otherwise gets the Padasanya. Now, this is, once this Padasanya or Bhasanya is done, like we have in computer programming, you have to call the respective subroutine. So the Bhasanya has been set in place, you have to call the subroutine of Bhasya, like a computer program. You have to call a subroutine of Bhasya, which starts from 1464129. which we discussed earlier in the class. If the angam gets the padasanya, you have to call the subroutine of padasya. It starts from 8-1. I think it is 8-1-16 or 8-1-16, correct. 8-1-16 padasya. So these are the adhikaras that 8-1-16 goes all the way up to the 8-3 apadantasya murdhanyaha. It goes all the way up to there. So apadantasya murdhanyaha, apadantasya murdhanyaha, apadantasya murdhanyaha, apadantasya. Like we have, for example, pratyayoho, here it is up to this one, apadantasya murdhanyaha. So the padasya goes until apadantasya come. So bottom line is that, one more time, very, very important, when any tadjita pratyaya is added, the angam has to get either padasanya or bhasanya. Bhasanya will come if the pratyaya is either yakaradi or ajadi. So means is beginning with the ya or a vowel. Then if that happens, then you call a subroutine of 6-4-1-29 to end of 6-4 and do any karyam, anga karyam, which is based on the bhasanya. If the angam gets the padasanya, then you have to call the routine from 8-1-16 padasya adhikara up to 8-3-54, which is right before the apadantasya murdhanyaha. Look over there. So you do the sajusho, ruhu and all that, they all come in that adhikara. Okay, so that is going to be routine common to us in every. So here what happened, this bhargu got the bhasanya because the pratyaya is ajadi. One more reminder as usual, when you say ajadi, yakaradi, everything, any of these properties, we have to examine. We have to first remove the it letters. Anubandha lope sati. Anubandha lope sati. So remove in this case, of course, the nakara was at the end, but in any case, the anubandhas are only packaging. They're only sending messages. So they have to be removed before we examine any properties. So the pratyaya is akaraha, it is ajadi, so angam gets bhasanya. Then we do or gunaha, because look at the number 64146. So this is the overanantam angam. So we get the gunadeshaha, then gunaha, so become bhargo, and then echoyavayava bhargava. So last time. Now, last time we also saw that this is not in the book. I don't think, at least not right now. So what I said was that, just to give a quick example, that even though the pratyaya an is default, clearly that's not the only one, because there will be because the vritti says uktaha vakshyamanaschya in tasyapatyam. Panini will set specific pratyayas after to specific prakritis only for the adhikara of tasyapatyam. So we saw last time atai. Very important, it's an apavada for an, because if atai says that if the pradipadikam ends in the akara, which is many of them, right? Like about Ravanaha become Ravarnihi. So Indrajit will become Ravarnihi. So it comes in Gita, Saumadattistataivacha. So Somadatta becomes Saumadatti. Anyecha Bhavashura, Madarthi Tyakta Jivitaha. Always keep the Bhagavad Gita at your mind, recording at all, playing at all times, So Saumadattistataivacha. Anyecha Bhavashura, Madarthi Tyakta Jivitaha. So here it is. Saumadatti. So when you chant Bhagavad Gita next time, please, you chant the shlokaha. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karanascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha Ashruttama Vikaranascha Saumadattihi. Saumadattistataivacha. So Somadattaha, so means Saumadattihi. So that is the sutram atai. So when you chant the shloka of Gita, in your mind should ring this sutram atai 4195 atai, because the default an was coming, specific sutram. This is not in the book right now. I'm only giving an example to you how variety of special pratyas will be prescribed in the adhikara of tasyapatyam. In the book, as I said to you, right, he's taking one pratyaya at a time. So right now he's only talking about an and about thak and dhak and yai on this page. So of course on this page you will not have the pratyaya e, but I'm giving as an example we did last time itself of variety of pratyaya which come in the specifically in the tasyapatyam adhikaraha. Adantam yat pradipadikam. If you have akarantam pradipadikam, tat prakritikat shashtyantad. So if that is the prakriti ending in a shashti, then e syad dapatyarthe. Dashrathasyapatyam puman Dashrati, you can say Ramaha. So it doesn't have to be Rama, could be Lakshmana also, or any one of them. So Dashrathasyapatyam puman Dashrati. Dashrati, Dashratha plus Myas plus Pratyaya I. So even though An was coming as default, by Ata I, specifically I Pratyaya comes here. Then again, first thing Anubandha Lopaha, by Halantim Dasya Lopaha, Samudaya gets Pradipadica Sanya, Krit Tadita Samasascha, and then Supo Dhatu Pradipadica Yoho, instead of Pradipadica, Sup cannot stay. And after that, we Taditesh Vachamadehe, Pratyaya has a Chavarga Panchama as it, become Dasharatha. The first vowel among the vowels in the Angams. In this Angam, you have the, Sha, Ra, Tha, Chatvaro Akaraha. There are 4 akaras over here. So, Tesham Prathamaha, Adihi. Among these 4 akaras, which is the first one, is Dakarottaravarti Akaraha, which is one Dakara. So, that will take Tasya Vriddhiradeshasyat. So, this Taditeshvachamadehe means you collect all the vowels in the Angam. Among those vowels, you take the first one, and that will take Vriddhi. As long as Tadita Pratyaya either has a Tavarga Panchama or Chavarga Panchama as it, or Kiticha by 72118, if it has Kakara as an it. So either Kakara as an it by 72118, or the Chavarga Panchama Nyakara as an it, or Tavarga Panchama Nakara as an it by 72117. In that case, among the vowels in the Angam, the first vowel takes Vriddhi to become Dashratha, Vriddhirechi, Vriddhiradaicha. So that's the Vriddhi Sanya. So it's the very first Ashtadhyayi, which is the Vriddhiradaicha. So we get Dasharatha plus E. Now Angam gets the Bhasanya by Yachibham. As we just said repeatedly, is that when the Pratyaya is Tadita Pratyaya following, Angam has to get the Padasanya or the Bhasanya. The Pratyaya is Yakaradi or Rajadi, Angam gets the Bhasanya. In this case, he gets the Bhasanya. Then you say Yasya Ticha, because you have an Avarnantam Angam, and the Pratyaya which has the Bhasanya, Pratyaya following the Tadita Sanya. So the Angam takes Lopa Alontyasya, and then we get Dashrati. Okay. Now, today what we're going to do is that we are going to try it, we're going to have some fun. So let me just tell you in the beginning itself that in Taditas, it's not like mathematics a little bit, it's an art form. So Panini put the Pratyas and the sutras which at his time were well-known forms in Taditas, derived forms. But since that time, the language may have changed, may have some different usages, etc. So finding an exact match from the Ashtadhyayi, means a perfect sutram, to derive any form is not possible. So I want to warn you right now. There is in the book he has given, in fact I'm glad he's given some of these forms which you're going to see today. In fact the very next form, oh by the way, this Yadavaha is the same thing. When we did Bhargavaha, Yadorapatyam Puman Yadavaha, it will be exactly the same step Bhargavaha. The same steps will get Yadavaha, all the same steps. Now, for example, let's take this word Vaishnavaha and Shaivaha. He has given the devotee of particular deity. Now, of course, this is, Prasiddha Shabdao, Shabda Rupe, Prasiddhe Shabda Rupe. They are well-known forms. In today's day and world, they're well-known forms, Vaishnava and Shaiva. But now, as you will see today, when you try to find, at least when I tried to find, an exact Ashtadhyayi Sutram to fit that, it is not very straight. You would expect a word like Vaishnava and Shaivaha. You would have a straightforward sutram for that, or something we can apply easily. But that is not the case. That is not the case. So, in fact, some of the people who, I shouldn't say people, whatever, who, they say that Taditeshu Mudhaha Paniniyaha, means that the followers of Panini do not know how to derive all the Tadita forms. So Taditeshu Mudhaha Paniniyaha. I mean, of course, that is criticism of the inability of in today's day and world for Ashtadhyayi to explain all the forms of Tadita land. So understand that clearly in the beginning. So this is not going to be, sometimes it's going to be a difficult exercise to find out. Of course, that's when we go to the Shabda Kosha, like Amar Kosha commentaries, or Shabda Kalpadrumaha, even Apte Dictionary, and all these places. or even the commentaries on the, Kavya Granthaha, like Raghuvansha Kavyam or Shupala, etc. So we have to go into commentaries and then try to find out how the scholars have justified these forms. If it's a well-known form, Shishta Prayogaha, there may be situations where you will not be completely satisfied. You will have to live with some extensions or something. Okay, let's start with that. Let's start with this form Vaishnava. Let me see what we have in the document here. Okay, the one thing I wanted to, before we go to form Vaishnava, let's just finish up one order of business over here, which is continuing in the same adhikara of Tasyapatyam. You will notice a sutram which says Shivadibhyo Anna. Now the question comes to mind is that we already set the default as Pragdivyato Anna. And now why do we need this sutram Shivadibhyo Anna? Because again, remember one thing, Shivadibhyo An is coming after the adhikara of within the adhikara of Tasyapatyam. So that the Shivadi, the word Shivadi, etc., Pradipadikani, will take the pratyaya An only in the meaning of Tasyapatyam. While the adhikara of Pragdivyato An, which we have said repeatedly today, goes all the way till 442. But the question comes that since the adhikara of Tasyapatyam is antargatam, is contained within the adhikara of Pragdivyato An, so why does Panini have to say again Shivadibhyo An? Let's look at, because the reason is that if we did not have this sutram, there would have been some other pratyaya coming after these words. To stop that pratyaya, in the Tasyapatyam adhikara, Panini has to again put back the An after these words. Let's look at the word Shiva itself. Descendant of Shiva will become Shaivaha. So Shaiva right now is not, we are not talking about the one whose Devata is Shiva. We are talking about Tasyapatyam right now. Okay, so let's talk Tasyapatyam. The Sutam Shivadibhyo An is only confined to the adhikara of Tasyapatyam. Look at the vritti over here. It says that Shivadibhyo apatye an pratyasyat. So that's why Panini did not put this prior to Tasyapatyam. He put Shivadibhyo an inside Tasyapatyam. Now, why do we need this sutram? Because as you will see, in fact, let's look at a word, and let's instead of looking at the word Shiva itself, let's look at the word Kakutstha Ramaha. The word Kakutstha. So Kakutstha is coming in the Shivadi Ganaha. The Shivadi Ganaha comes this word Kakutstha. So Kakutstha is one of the ancestors of Sri Ramaha. So apparently Kakud is the hump of the Indian bull, So one of the ancestors of Sri Rama, without going into any detailed Purana discussions, but he sat on the hump of the bull and defeated the Daityas in order to aid the, Devanam Sahayartham. So in order to help the Devas, he sat on the hump. So he became Kakutstha. So this is the ancestor of Sri Rama, Kakutstha, and then Kakutstha, descendant of Kakutstha is Kakutstha. Okay, so the word Kakutstha will be here somewhere. See if we can find it quickly. Kakutstha, Shiva Prashta, Gopa. Kakutstha. It will, okay, let's go in order. Shiva Prashta, Kuthar. Here it is, Kakutstha. So now the thing is that why do we need this Shivadibhyo An? Because obviously if we did not have Shivadibhyo An, we just saw Sutram Atai that would have overruled the Pragdivyato An is overruled by Atai 4195. So if we did not have Shivadibhyo An, would have been stuck with the pratyaya E, because Atai is a specific sutram inside the adhikara of Tasyapatyam that would have overruled the default Pragdivyato An from 4183. So that is why Panini has to put the An back again specifically after these words, because the An would have been overruled by other pratyayas in this adhikara of tasyapatyam. But that is not desirable. That's why Panini puts the pratyaya and back again Shivadibhyo and. So when we do kakutstasyapathyam paman kakutstaha, you kakutsta, same steps as before, nyas pratyaya and. So this is overruling atai, which itself had overruled the pragdivyato and. So I'm just giving you a flavor of how these adhikaras and these default pratyas, specific pratyas, work in this adhikara of tadjitaha. It's important to get the structure of tadjitaha in mind. We have to be in that mode, understanding how these different pratyas are put by Panini in different meanings and different, because otherwise it's confusing. Because what happens is that, as I said to you before, you see this one here, you see utsadibhyoi, and then you see again haritadibhyoi. Wondering what's going on over here, because this is haritadibhyo is only for tasyapatyam. You see pragdivyato and then again you see shivadibhyo. You say, what's going on over here? Because the fact that shivadibhyo is specifically for tasyapatyam, and it is putting back the pratyaya which would have been overruled by some other pratyaya for the adhikara of tasyapatyam. So that's, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So when you say kakusta nyas plus, you would have had first of all by pragdivyato by 4183. That gets overruled by Atai 4195. And finally Shivadibhyo, because specifically puts the Pradipadikam Kakutstha in there, overrules the in pratyaya, and we get pratyaya back here. Back means which was there coming as default, which is overruled by Atai, and then we get back again. So then we put, then the steps are the same, which we do the Anubandha Lopaha, then Supluk, and then Adivriddhi, and then Yachibham Yasyati Cha Kakustha. Okay, so that I hope gives you some flavor of these ways Panini puts a default pratyaya, then puts specific pratyayas, and counter exceptions coming like that. So okay, let's try to divide the form Vaishnavaha now. Okay, the sutram called Sasya Devata. Look at the vritti. This is, now we are jumping to different adhikaras. As I mentioned in the book, he is taking by pratyaya. So we are going to have to jump from one meaning to another, because he has grouped the pratyaya, various application of pratyaya, and of course, very brief, extremely brief. But whatever, we have to now jump outside tasyapatyam adhikara, because we are talking about, bhinnartha, in a different meaning, because now we are talking about someone whose devata is that. So let's look at the sutram here. It says that the devata visheshavachinaha. So following a pratipadikam, who is a deity, a devata. Now here mainly we are talking about like Vedic devata. So like Agni, Brahaspati, and Vayu, and so on, Prajapati, whatever it might be, Varunaha. So devata visheshavachinaha, pratamanta, because it's sa, says pratamantam. Pratamantat samartha, as usual, this has to be samartha, has to be there all the time, because here, as I think I didn't mention this sutram, I should mention that also, is here when we start the dhitaha, samartaf pada vidhi, Panini starts, samartaf pada vidhi. So that will be, let's see, nakamukha sanyayam, samartaf pada vidhi. That starts from way back. Let me get the sutram for that for you. Samartaf pada vidhi. That's from 2, no, I'm sorry. Samartaf pada vidhi is from 2:1. That's not the one here. See, pratamanta samartha dva. That should be. Yes, Kalpesh.
Yes, pratamanta samartha dva. It's in 4:1. 4:1.
Yeah. What number is that?
Please just go there.
Pratamantas. 1 second. I'll find it. It should be here. Pratamantas samarthadva. So that is the no.
Okay, can you go to 4:186?
Yeah, it will be somewhere there. 4186. Usadibhyo ai is coming here. But
4182.
let's see,
82.
where is that? Okay, give me 1 second.
82.
82. Okay, so before Pragdev you thought. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Samarthana Prathamadva. Okay, Samarthana Prathamadva. Samarthana Prathamadva. Let's look at this. So we shouldn't. So we're seeing this Samarthana Prathamadva. So this sutram is the Samartha we're seeing in the vrittis all the time. So 4182 Samarthana Prathamadva says Idam Padatrayam Adhikriyate Prag Disha iti yavat. So this sutram, which is the Samarthana Prathamadva, and then so these, when you talk about any of these pratyaya, this is Prag Disha, up to the word Prag Disha iti yavat. So up to 531, the Samarthana Prathamadva is adhikara which runs up to 531. So that comes all the way up to here, So any of these pratyaya which are coming, so up to Prag Disho Vibhaktihi. So Samarthanam Prathamadva. It's a good calculation in the class, thank you. So this, if you see 4-1, that's why when we see in the vritti over here, we are seeing in the vritti the all the time saying, Samartha, that's because the adhikara of this Samarthanam Prathamadva. And if you look at the vritti here in Kashika, what it says is that Trayam api adhikriyate Samarthanam iti Prathamati cha vachiti cha. So Sarthika Pratyavadhi Shchayam. So from 531, they are Swarthe in their own meaning, not with somebody else related to this one in a certain meaning. So up to 531, we are forming a new word related to the old word in a certain meaning. So this Prag Disha Vibhakti. So after it becomes Swarthika, so Swarthe in their own meaning they'll come. So iti yavat. So Swarthikeshu yasya upayogo nasti. Okay. It says kechana nityam eva bhavanti. Anyway, so we will samarthya sati prathama nirdishtad eva vikalpena pratyabhavati iti veditavyam. So what is meant? So we say tasyapatyam. So tasya is the first word. So Samarthanam Prathamadva. So Prathama nirdishtad eva. So the Prathama first tasya is coming first. Apatyam is coming second. Tasyapatyam. The question is that they have a relationship between both of them, right? When you say Dasharathihi, Ramaha, and when you have Dasharatha is the Mula Purushaha. So should the Pratyaya come after Rama or after Dasharatha? That's the question. Because Samarthyam, they both of them have. Because there is a logical connection between Dasharatha and Sri Ramaha. Because Sri Ramaha is a descendant of Dasharatha. The question comes, now which one should take the Pratyaya now? Should it be Dasharatha or Ramaha? This sutram says that some Prathamadva. So Prathama Nirdishtad Eva. Of course, Vikalpena, you can have the Vakyam also. Pratyabhavati iti veditavyam. So, it says that, so tasyapatyam tinaraktam ragat tatra bhavaha ityevam adini bhavishyanti. So all these are coming. So teshu samarthye. So when you have that connection in that meaning, so when it's Dasharatha and Ramaha, Shri Ramaha, Sati, Prathama Nirdishtad eva. So Rama will not take the Pratyaya. Dasharatha only will take. Because why? Because tasyapatyam. Tasya was mentioned first in the sutram. And Dasharatha apatya puman, apatyam puman means Dasharatha, that Dasharatha will take, not Rama. Because both have samarthyam. There's a connection between two of them. Prathama nirdishtad eva vikalpena. So good. So Samarthanam Prathamadva is the sutram. Samarthanam Prathamadva. So what I will do is that, in fact, let me just put this here. Give me 1 second, because this is an important sutram. It didn't exactly come, but because we are seeing the word Samartha in all these vrittis because of the fact that this adhikara, okay, let us, we'll put for short for today's lesson with that. Samarthanam Prathamadva. Okay. So I will put this here. Okay, so this goes all the way up to 531. Up to, because Pradisha Vibhakti. So this is put in bracket here 531. Okay. Samarthanam Prathamadva. Okay, so that is the adhikaraha, which we have to be aware. As I mentioned, all the adhikaras are very, very important. That they control, they have the authority in their region. What is allowed, what is the context. So this is what is here. Okay, so now let's continue with the word Vaishnava, see what we can get. So Sasya Devata. Again, Sa is the Prathama, which means it is the one mentioned first in the sutram. So that Devata will take the pratyaya, not the whoever is, belongs to the Devata. Devata will take the pratyaya because Sa is coming first. So Asya will not, so one whose Devata it is will not take the pratyaya because Samathanam Prathamadva. So Devata Vishesha Vachinaha Prathamantad Samarthad Pratipadikad Asya ityarthe taditvan pratyaya syat. Of course, anuvrutti of Prak coming from 4183. So, in the meaning of Asya, so it is, so following a Devata Vachi Shabdaha, a Pratyaya will come in the meaning that that is the Devata of something or somebody. If that is the connection, is that is the Devata of something or someone, then that Devata which is the Pratyaya, for default Pratyaya is An. Now, one thing here is that, now this is where the complication starts now. It says that Tyajyamana Dravye, which means that when a Havihi, when you make an offering or an oblation for that Devata, then we can say Aindram Havihi. We can say, so it is an offering to Indra. So the Devata, in this case Indra, will take the Pratyaya, in this case the default An, in the sense of that this is an offering for Indra, which means Tyajyamana Dravye or Uddeshya Vishesho Devata Mantrastutyacha. So when a particular offering, Dravya means some material or something, an oblation, what is offered, the Devata to whom it is offered, so that Devata will take the Pratyaya in the sense, in this meaning. It can also be Mantrastutyacha. It can be a stotram or a mantraha which is for that Devata. Now here's the problem now. So that means that we could not technically derive the word Vaishnava from this sutra. Because the Vaishnava is not an oblation made to Vishnu. It's not a mantra. It's a Purushaha, Janaha, Yasya Aradhya Devata Vishnu. Tasmin Arte Pratyaha Na Vihitaha. So we that in that meaning. So this is what I'm telling you is that these connections, you see now in the old times, maybe the word Vaishnava was not in vogue in that meaning. At that time the meaning like Aindram etc. means only when in the sense of like when an offering is made to a particular Devata. But that may have been extended later on to mean somebody whose Devata is that. Now, if you look at Kashika for a second on 4-24, so this is the, in a way, you can say the fun or difficulty of Tadvitas, is that a simple thing like a word like Vaishnavaha, we don't have an exact sutra for that. Now, this is not, but let's not despair. We can look at to the Vyakhyanam, we can look at the Tika, see what they have done. So what they have done. Now what does Kashika says is that Katham Agneyo Vai Brahmanaha. Agnir Devata Agneyaha. Of course here the Pratyaya An has not come, we're going to see that doesn't matter, but the meaning Agneyaha, different Pratyaya has come, Dak has come here. But the fact is that how there is a usage called Agneyaha Brahmanaha. Like Vaishnavaha we talk, Vaishnavaha Purushaha. Purohitaha Vaishnavaha Ayam. So he is a Vaishnava priest. Then how can we use that? And Kashika says, Upamanad Bhavishyati. So Sadrishyat. So just like a Havi or mantra is offered to a Devata, similarly his Brahmana is like an offering to the Devata. It's okay, I guess there's no choice, we have to somehow extend that. So that's one way out. Upamanat Sadrishyam. It is like that. It is, even though he's not really something, he's not a mantra, he's not an offering to Devata, but still we can say that he is like that. Yajño vai Vishnuho, O Vishnu. Okay, so that is what Kalpesh is saying. So Vishnu is like a yajna, so he's an offering to that, in that yajna, for that yajna. So now we have to extend it. Or, but actually the Siddhanta Kaumudi says is that, he says that we should not use this sutram for in the meaning like Vaishnavaha. If you use a different sutram, which we see down here, tasyedam, tasyedam. So we cannot use this sutram according to Siddhanta Kaumudi. This Sasya Devata should not be used to derive a form like Agneya Brahmanaha Atva Vaishnavaha Purohitaha, because this is not like you are offering the priest to Vishnu. It's not like that. So, but Kashika says even if though it's not like that, it is similar to that, so we use it. So that is what it is. Okay, let us derive this form. So Tyajyamana Dravye Uddeshya Vishesha Devata. So the Devata to which an offering is made, Mantrastutyacha, means a mantra or a stutram is offered to that Devata, and that also is there. Now the small comment here, how did the word Devata come? We know the word Devaha. How did the word Devata come now? That's again, this is a digression here. Ihaiva Sutra Nipatanad Deva Shabdat Swarte Tal. This word Devaha, Deva Pradipadikam, has taken the pratyaya Tal Swarte without changing meaning. On what authority? There is no such sutram like that. Iha eva sutra nipatanat. Because in the sutram Panini says Sasya Devata. Devata Shabda Prayukta Panina Swayam Sutre. Tasmat Nipatanat Swarte Tal. So Nipat Swarte Tal. This is just a side note, is how the word Devata itself came. We know the word Devaha, we don't have the word Devata, but the fact that Panini has used the word Devata means that we have to understand is Pratyaya Tal, Anubandha Lopeta, can be used after the word Deva, Swarte. So Devata, Deva, Eva, Devata. And then of course in feminine, it's a feminine usage, so we used Ajadyata Shtap, 414, put the top on top, right? So, okay, now to get the word Aindram Havihi, Indrosya Devata. So it is an offering which is for the Devata Indra. So then, I mean, see, as I said to you, once, yes.
Nitya Strilinga.
Which one, Devata Shabda?
Yes.
Yeah, Devata is Nitya Strilinga Shabda, correct. Devata is only like Lata, Sita, but, as we say, Lokataha Lingam, which means that the lingam is as per the usage in the language. We have to, all you can look at linga anushasana, but yeah, that is the feminine word, devata. It's the why is feminine? There's really no answer to that. That's the way it is used in the language. So Indrasya devata, Indram havihi. So Indra su plus and, because sa asya devata. One more time, sa is prathama in the sutram, so that's why prathama antat. And samarthat because of samarthanam prathamadva. Samarthanam prathamadva. So there has to be a logic connection, and the one which is mentioned first in the sutram takes the pratyaya. So in this case, the devata. Now rest of it is straightforward, just the same steps. We get anubandha lopaha, and then the samudaya gets pradipadika sanya, and then supluk by supodhatu pradipadika yoho, tadite shvachamadehe, aindra. And then Angam gets the Bhasanya, Yachibham, Yasyati, all the same steps as before, Aindra. And this is an adjective form. We say Havihi is a neuter Pradipadikam, Napusalinga Pradipadikam, Tasma Aindram Havihi. As I mentioned to you, that once you get to this stage, the rest of it is straightforward. Now, similarly, Aindro Mantraha, mantra for Indra. So, but now Vishnur Devata Asya, Athva Vishnurayam Bhaktaha Vaishnavaha. According to Kashika, we can use Upamanat. We can use like this. According to Siddhanta Kaumudi, we have to go over here, because clearly the priest is not being like offered to Vishnu, like that. It's not like that. So he wants to worship Vishnu, right? So that's not the intended meaning is not an offering to Vishnu. So it'll be difficult to justify. Now, so before we go to the steps, let us look at this sutram, Tasyedam. Tasyedam. Now we're jumping to a different adhikara now, Tasyedam. Now this is adhikara which we are going to see a little bit later on today. is the sheshe. Sheshe. And this starts from 4 to 92. Remember, tasyapatyam, these are numbers easy to remember because tasyapatyam starts from 4192 tasyapatyam. While the sheshe starts from 4292 sheshe. Now sheshe is saying that in sheshe artha, in all in remaining meanings. What is shesha normally means? Uktad anyaha shesha. So remaining. So other than what was already mentioned is shesha. Shesha means remainder. So it means that other than what was already mentioned is remaining meaning. So in remaining meanings is what adhikara sheshe. And that adhikara goes all the way. In fact, we're going to see the adhikara a little bit. Now, why am I taking it right now? Because the sutram tasyedam belongs in the shesha adhikara. And you're going to need this sutram to justify the word Vaishnavaha. Siddhanta Kaumudi Mate, we're going to need that. So in the book what has happened is that you just put Vaishnavaha and Shaivaha and says like that. Now this is not that straightforward. It is not, because we just discussed that. So we had to bring in the sutram tasyedam. And that happens to be the Shesha Adhikaraha, which we are going to see just coming up next. So let's look at the vritti right now. It says that apatyadi chaturarthyanta arthaha. What is the meaning of this now? See, because prior to the sheshe, there was this adhikara of which we saw today, tasyapatyam. That's tasyapatyam is the first meaning which Panini gives in tadhita adhika, in the adhika tadhitaha. And there are other meanings which Panini gives. For example, tasyapatyam ends at end of 4.1. Then Panini gives tena raktam ragat, which is another different meaning. Then you might say, tasya samuha might come somewhere here. Let's see, tasya samuha comes somewhere, and so on. Panini goes. He goes, as I said to you in the book, it is extremely in summary form. So, and we don't want to spend, many classes, but we have to do some justice to Adhikara. Tadhita Adhikara has more than 1,000 rules. I'm trying to give you some idea, at least some good idea, so we can, look up things on your own. So Tasya Samuha comes then, and then so on and so forth. Panini go on, and then Panini has these set of 4 meanings. Tadasminnastiti deshe tannamni tena nirvrittam tasya nivasaha adura bhavascha. So this set of 4 meanings. Panini, prescribes from pratyayas. So what the vritti is saying from sheshe is that other than, so in any meaning other than a meaning, starting from tasyapatyam up to these 4 meanings, chaturarthi, chaturnam arthanam samahara chaturarthi, like ashtadhyayi, a panchashloki, chaturarthi. Chaturarthi means in these 4 meanings, which we are not going to study, but I'm trying to explain the vritti of sheshe. It says chaturarthyantad anyaha. Chaturarthi means the set of 4 meanings. So tasyapatyam was the first meaning which Panini gives in the adhikara tadhitaha. And then prior to the adhikara of sheshe, Panini had this set of 4 meanings. So those are the last 4 meanings prior to sheshe. So any meaning other than a meaning starting from tasyapatyam 4192 up to chaturarthi, which is up to 4270, any other meaning is shesho arthaha. So one more time is that tasyapatyam, which we saw today, 4192, is the first meaning, the tadhita adhikaraha. That's the first one. And then that adhikara ends at end of 4.1. After that, Panini starts tena raktam ragat and so on, variety of meaning Panini gives, and then he gives, for example, here he gives tasya samuha, he gives, and so on, and then at the end of, then we're going to see this today. We're going to see this sutram if we have time today. Tadadite tadveda, another meaning. Anyway, there's a bunch of meanings, and then finally means right before the shesha adhikaraha, Panini gives this set of 4 meanings. Chaturarthi. Tadasvinnastiti deshe tannamni. Tena nirvrittam. Tasya nivasaha. Adurabhavascha. These are the last 4 meanings. Of course, meanings in which pratyas are prescribed before the Sheshadhikaraha. So, any other meaning other than a meaning which is contained from Tasya Patyam Chaturarthi, any other meaning is Sheshaha. So, this Vritti says is that Apatyadi Chaturarthyantad Anyorthaha Sheshaha Tatra Anadayaha Syuhu. So, and then it says that, so Sheshe is does a double duty. It's a Vidhi Sutram, also a Adhikara Sutram. Vidhi Sutram means that, remember the Park Divya thorn was coming from 4183 down. So this Sutram says that any other miscellaneous meaning, other than one which was already discussed, un can be used. So this one says that Anvidhayaka Sutram. It is an Anvidhayaka Sutram. This Sheshe, it starts the Adhikaraha. But it also is a Vidhi Sutram saying that, this is important by the way, this can be confusing, is why do we need the Sheshe Adhikaraha? Why do we need Sheshe? Well, first of all is that this Sheshe Adhikaraha goes up to 43134, which is coming here. Tasya Vikaraha. Up to here is Sheshe. Tasya Vikara starts after, so basically up to 43133. So now what's going to happen is that in the Shesha Adhikaraha, Panini is going to set a variety of default pratyaya. For example, Rashtravar Parad Ghakau. So Rashtravar Pada, Rashtravar Parad Ghakau. So this pratyaya Gha and pratyaya Kha is, will come after these prakriti. Then Gramad Ya Khayau and so on. So Panini sets a bunch of default pratyayas all the way up to 3, 3, 4, 3, 25 Tatra Jataha. So so these are all the default pratyayas for the Shesha Adhikaraha. So that is one use of Shesha as an Adhikaraha, that these pratyayas which Panini is setting, so they are going to come as defaults, but confined to the Shesha Adhikaraha. So that is as an Adhikaraha. The second thing is as a Vidhi Sutram. The Shesha says that in any miscellaneous meanings, pratyaya an can be used. Not all of these, but pratyaya an can be used. So Shesha is an important sutram, confusing sutram, because Shesha is Adhikaraha, which goes from 4292 Shesha up to 43133, which we said. So what that means is that when Panini sets all these pratyaya vidhanam, so that these pratyayas which are set from here, they will only be confined to the Shesha Adhikara. So all of these from 4293 up to this one 4324, just like we had in the Tasya Patyam Adhikara. For example, you can compare that with Tasya Patyam. When Panini started Tasya Patyam, for example, Panini said this pratyaya Atai, but that Atai was confined to Tasya Patyam. Similarly here, when Panini starts Shesha Adhikaraha, so in all the meanings contained in the Shesha Adhikaraha, these pratyayas will be defaults. Of course, pratyayas means, why so many defaults? Because they're coming after different pradipadikebhyaha. So that's one, the Shesha Adhikaraha. Now Shesha, I'm repeating this 2-3 times because it's very confusing. Because Shesha is also a sutram which is used to prescribe the anpratyaha in any miscellaneous meanings, not covered up to this point. Let's look at what it says below here, is that apatyadi chaturarthyantad anyortha sheshaha tatranadayaha syuhu tatranadayaha syuhu. But so it says that chakshusha griyate chakshusham rupam. There is no specific sutram in sense of tena grihiyate. There is no such sutram like that. But if you have to express something which is grasped by the eye, chakshusham rupam, it's a form which is perceived by the eye. So chakshusham. Now how would we derive the form chakshusham? We have the pradipadikam chakshus, it's in netravachi, it means an eye, chakshus plus pratyaya ta, pratyaya an. But there is no sutram which in this meaning, the meaning is tena grihiyate. But there is no sutram tena grihiyate. Then how would you get the pratyaya an? Because okay, an is default from prag divyaton from 484, 183, but it has to come in one of those meanings which Panini has put up to the word deviate 442, but there's no such meaning there. That's why sheshe is important, because the fact that we can derive this form on the basis of the sheshe, that in any other meaning, any miscellaneous meaning, pratyaya an can always be used. So that is one use of sheshe. The second use of sheshe is of course as an adhikara, just like tasyapatyam, sheshe is used, similar to that. Now, so one more time, is that chakshusha grihiyate chakshusham rupam. There is no such sutram as ten grihiyate. But because sheshe said that an can be used on miscellaneous meanings, we can take chakshus, add the pratyaya an, get the form chakshusham. Similarly, drishadi pishta darshadaha saktavaha. So this is some, I think, barley which is ground in a stone ground. Now there is no such sutram for prescribing, tatra pishtam or something like that. There is no such sutram. So what we can do, same thing here. It's a miscellaneous meaning. So therefore, an can be used in that miscellaneous meaning. So drishadi pishtaha darshadaha saktavaha. So an. So sheshe iti lakshanam. Lakshanam means grahana kshunnadishvartheshu uttara sutranupateshu eshu anovidhayakam. Means that grahanam, kshunnam, these meanings are not specifically in the prescribed by Panini. They are not uttara sutra anupateshu, which have not been taken up, which have not been mentioned, which have not been discussed in the following sutras. So grahana kshunadishu artheshu. So these miscellaneous meanings. Uttara sutra anupateshu, which have not been specifically discussed. Eshu anovidhayakam. So anvidhayakam sutram. I know I'm repeating 3-4 times because this adhikara, this is a confusing sutram. Sheshe, I hope I conveyed some meaning to you. Sheshe is doing double duty. It is adhikara sutram, which means that these pratyas which are coming in all these pratyas, they only come in the meaning of in the meanings contained in the sheshe adhikara. So that's adhikara sutram. Sheshe says that all these pratyas which are set as defaults, they are set as defaults only confined to the sheshe adhikara. So all these pratyas, they only come as defaults, but only in these meanings going up to the tasya vikaraha, only up to that meaning. The second use of shesha is that it is used to prescribe the pratyaya an, only an, in any miscellaneous meaning which is not specifically discussed. So I hope we convey this. I hope you understand this. So one more time is that chakshusha grihiyate chakshusham rupam drushadi pishta darshadaha saktavaha sheshe iti lakshanam grahana kshunnadishu artheshu uttara sutra anupateshu eshu anovidhayakam. It's also an adhikara which goes to 43134 tasya vikara ityartha. Prak shesha adhikara. So shesha adhikara goes up to 43134, which means that these default pratyaha, they are defaults in all the meanings, but only up to the meanings, only in all the meanings which are coming from 4325 to 43133, not beyond that. So shesha adhikara limits the use of these pratyas which are coming from these pratyas which are set from 4 to 93 up to 4 3 1 4 3 24, they're only defaults up to tasya vikaraha, not beyond that. So that is shesha as in adhikaraha. Okay. Okay. All right. So let us know why do we need all this right now? Because tasyedam, very famous sutram, straightforward sutram. It says tasya is the prathama. It is the prathama nirdishtaha, which is coming first in the sutram. So tasyedam. By the way, let's not confuse this prathama nirdishtaha with this this sutram. It says, which gives us the Prathama Nidishtam Samasa Prasajanam. Let's not confuse these two, okay? But this sutram, Prathama Nidishtam Samasa Prasajanam, was talking about in a Samasa Vidhayaka sutram, the padam which has Prathama Vibhakti. That is Prathama Nidishtam used in 1243. What you're talking about today, is this sutram, Samarthanam Prathama Dva. That's not the Prathama Vibhakti here. Prathama Nirdishtaha is coming first in the sutram. So let's not confuse these two. Okay. So that because there Pani says Prathama, this in 1243 it says Prathama Nirdishtam. So which is indicated with the Prathama Vibhakti in the Samasa Vidhayaka Sutram. That's one that's completely different from this one, which is 4182, Samarthanam Prathama Dva. It says Prathama Nirdishtam. We look at Kashika, we saw that Prathama Nirdishtam. So in this adhikara from 4182 up to 531, which is Prathama Nirdishtam, which is mentioned first in the sutra. So that is what is coming here. It says that if you look at here, Prathama Nirdishtadeva. So let's not confuse these two. Let's keep these two separate. So that Prathama Nirdishtam Samasa Upasajanam, that's only for the Samasa Vidhayaka Sutram. But this one, Samarthanam Prathama Dva, this is coming from 4182 to 531. The term which is mentioned first in the Sutram, we take the Pratyaha. So Tasya Patyam when we take, Tasya is the Prathama Nirdishtam, which is the mentioned first in Sutram. So when something belongs to somebody, the somebody to whom it belongs, that will take the Pratyaha. And which Pratyaha? Pratyaya An comes as default, or there are a bunch of defaults set specifically, as we just saw, the Shesha Adhikaraha. In the Shesha Adhikaraha, following these are for specific Pratipadikani. An is coming as the Mahotsar, this is the great default, Mahanusarga, from way back there. But these are within the Shesha Adhikara, so all these defaults, they can be used in the sense of tasyedam. So Anadayaha Pancha Mahotsargaha. So no, we are getting now into the nitty-gritty of the adhikar of the ditaha. So it says that Anadayaha Pancha Mahotsargaha. What are these now? Which are the Anadayaha Pancha Mahotsargaha? Which is, here we look at here, it's coming from here. There will be 5 of these. So An is the first one. Then we get Pratyanya is coming, second one. Then Ai is coming, third one. We got Nai and Snai. We only see right, as I said in the book, it's very, very concise. I'm trying to give you a good idea of the Tadhikara. So I know we're going beyond the book, but I hope you have some patience, understand, because otherwise, don't understand structure of the Tadhikara, it's very difficult to follow what's going on, So, which is Pancha Mahotsargaha? The Tadhikara, these 5, An, Peprag Divyato An, and Ditya, Patyuttara Padanyaha, Pratyanyaha, Nya Pratyaha, Nya, then Ai Pratyaha Utsadibhyo, Ai is third one, and then Stri Pumusabhyam Naisnayam Bhavanat. Is the Pancha Mahotsargaha. That's the coming. And then Ghadayascha. What are the Ghadayaha now? Ghadayaha are set as defaults. Sorry, did I do something here? Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. I just okay. Anyway, okay. So Okay. Now, which are the, okay, we were down here somewhere. We were, yeah. And then, Ghadayascha. Which are Ghadayaha? We just saw that is the Ghadayaha is starting from here is in the Sheshadhika. So the Ghadayaha, Pratya, Ga, etc. are confined to the Dhikara of Sheshe. Sheshadhikare eva adhikriyante. They are put as defaults. So Gha, then Kha is coming, then Ya and Kai is coming, then Dakai is coming, and all of these. But this Ghadayaha, which are coming from here, they are only in the Sheshadhikara. While the Annadayaha Panchamahotsargaha, they go beyond Sheshadhikara. That's what the Vritti says. So this is very important. This is what I told you, that Panini sets Pratyas as the Utsargaha, Adhikrita Pratyaha. But in what region is it the default? We need to understand that. Pragdivyatwan goes up to 4 for 2. While these Gha, Kha and all these, they only go up to the end of Sheshadhikara. So they only are defaults in only these meanings, which are up to the end of Sheshe. So 4, 3, 1, 34. Up to here. So it says that Tasyedam Vritti says Anadayaha Panchamahotsargaha Ghadayascha Ghadayascha. These are for the Sheshadhikara, because this is contained in the Adhikara of the Pradivyatvan as well as Sheshe. So Shashtyantat, because Tasya Sambandhini. This is the Samarthanam Prathamadva. Sihu. There has to be Samarthyam. So Anadeha Panchamahotsarga. Those An, Ain, Nya, and the Nai and Snai. Nai and Snai. The Pancha Mahotsargaha. One more time. They are here, which is the Pradivyato An. Then Utsadibhyo, then Ditya Nyaha, then Pratyanya, Utsadibhyo Ai, and Stripumsabhyam, Naisnaya Bhavana. These 5. And then the Ghadayaha, which are defaults for the Sheshadhikaraha. So that is, these are coming starting from here, which is the Gha, Kha, etc. starting from here. So now, Anshashthyanta Sambandhini Siho. So he says, now when we have to derive the word Vaishnavaha, all these things we're trying to still derive the word Vaishnavaha, is that, but we're trying to get a feel of this Adhikara, of the Ditaha. Once you understand how the Adhikaras work, then you can look up these sutras on your own, make sense out of them. So it says, now Vishnur Devata Asya, you can try to fit in the Sasya Devata with Upamanat, which means that we can make it in the even though it's not Tyajyamana Dravya, and it is not an offering, it is not a mantra stuti, still we can use this by similarity. We can use this Sastya Devata Sutram, or we can just make it Vishnu Rayam. He belongs to Vishnu. So it means he is a Devata of Vishnu. Sorry, he's a Bhakta. Vishnu or Bhakta Ayam. Excuse me. So Vishnu is a Devata. So Vishnu Ayam Bhakta. Iti Vaishnavaha. So according to Siddhanta Kaumudi, we should use them Tasyedam. The problem is that we are stuck with this meaning Vaishnavaha, which is neither Tasyedam exactly, nor is it in the sense of Sasya Devata as a Tyajyamana Dravyam or a mantra stuti. So we have to now choose. This is what I was saying to you at the beginning of the class, is we have to allow some extension, some flexibility in deriving these forms. We are not able to find, not we means the Kaumudi and Kashika also, are not able to find an exact sutram in that exact meaning. Say Agneyo Brahmanaha. We don't have that in that meaning. So we have to either fit in Sasya Devata, fit Tasyedam. But once you do that, then Pratya An comes. If you use Sasya Devata, it will be Su. Tasyedam Pratya will be Nyas. Because Sa is Prathama Vibhakti and Tasya is Shashti. And after that, you can do the same steps. Anubandha Lopaha, Halantyam, and then Supodhadu Pradivadikayoho, Taditesh Chamadehe, or Gunaha, and then Echo Yavayava. Just like we did Bhargavaha, same steps. We did Bhargavaha, same thing we have Vaishnavaha. But the thing is that we had to use these two different rules to try to fit somewhere in there. Okay, I hope you understood some of this we'll see more of these. We're going to see more of Sheshe in next class also. Just we're not done with Sheshe. In fact, we're not even done with Tasya Patyam yet. We're going to see more of that. I put the same thing here. Vishnu Devata Asyatva. I think I just copied it here and there. Okay. So now let's continue. So that is the way. Same thing Shaivaha. So Shivasyayam Devata. Atva Shivo Devata Asya. So that is the Sasya Devata. So we can say no. We can say I'm sorry. Did I confuse that? One more time. Shivasyayam Bhaktaha. Shivasyayam Bhaktaha. He is a devotee. He belongs to Shiva as his devotee. Or we can say Shivo Devata Asya. So one whose Devata is Shiva, but we have to extend that sutram because it's not a Havihi or a Mantraha. So we can either use 4 to 24 or 4, 3, 1, 20. Now the next thing in the book what he takes is that he takes this word to denote one born or living in a particular place. So Mathurayam Jataha or Mathurayam Bhavaha. You can use Mathuraha. One born or living. Now we have these two rules in this adhikara of Sheshe, which are the meanings are Tatra Jata. In fact, that's the first meaning given the Shesha Adhikaraha. And then we have the meaning of Tatra Bhavaha. Tatra Jataha means somebody who's born in that particular place. Tatra Bhavaha is one who occurs in that place, one who stays or lives there, one who's found there, one who occurs there, literally speaking, Bhavaha, one who is there. Doesn't have to be born. So Tatra Bhavaha and Tatra Jataha is two different things. Tatra Jataha means one who's born in that place. Tatra Bhavaha, one who is in that place, one who's being in that place, so to speak, one who occurs there, one who's found there. So that is Tatra Bhavaha. Tatra Bhavaha. So now this is the two meanings which are taken now. Now as we know already that we are going to use the default un, or we're going to use one of these defaults with the specific Pratipadikani which was set for the Shesha Adhikaraha. And let's not forget that for the specific meaning of, let's take for example in Tatra Jataha, now Panini sets one more pratyaya. Now why is this pratyaya being set over here? Pravrishash tap. After the word pravrish, the pratyaya tap is to be used, because this pratyaya tap will be only in the meaning of Tatra Jataha. You see how we're digging deeper and deeper and deeper. So one more time, the Pragdivya to An is all the way up to from 483 up to 442. Now, within the Shesha Adhikaraha, these pratyaya which were starting from 4 to 92, which was set as defaults, they were set as default for the entire Shesha Adhikara only, up to 43133, like these, Gha, Kha, and all these, etc. over here. Now, within that, we have a meaning of Tatra Jataha. Now, only in that meaning Tatra Jataha, Pani says Pravrishash Thap. So, Thap Pratyaya is now only Tatra Jataha. Only that one meaning only. Only in that one meaning, only for the Pratipadikam Pravrish. Of course, this is not in the book. I'm just giving an example. So, Pravrish, only Thap can be used. So, this is a very specific sutra. Now, we drill down deep now. So, this sutra 4326, for example, is only in that one meaning Tatra Jataha, means one which is born there, one I guess Pravrish is the rainy season, and only after the word Pravrish, Pratyaya Thap can be used. So now we see how we've gone deeper now. So now we are in the meaning of Tatra Jataha only. Only of Pravrish only, Thap is to be used. Pratyaya Thap. So that's what it is. Anyway, so Tatra Jataha is 4325 and Tatra Bhavaha is 4353, and still continuing Pragdivya 1, also continuing the defaults in the Shesha Adhikara after those specific words. So the defaults in the Shesha Adhikara are coming out to specific Rashtravar Parad Gha Kau. So following these, Gha and Kau can be used. Then Gramad, Kha, Ya, Kanya, and so on. So these are, let me say, why so many defaults? Because those are defaults for that particular Prakriti. the Pradipadikam in the Sheshadhikaraha over here. Okay, so now book says that Pratyaya An can, of course, An is the default coming down. What this means is that following the word Mathura, if you take following the word Mathura, there was no other specific Pratyaya prescribed either by any of, so the word Mathura is not here in any of these which were prescribing the defaults for the Sheshadhikaraha. So up to here, up to 4.3.2024. And Mathura is now also not in any of these which are specifically prescribed for Tatra Jata Adhikaraha. Not also any of these which are Tatra Bhava Adhikaraha. So you understand, that's why the default and basically the default and is not being overruled by any Shaishika Pratyaya, nor any Pratyaya which is specifically in Tatra Jatam or Tatra Jata Tatra Bhavarthe. So there is nothing overruling the Pragdivyato and therefore we are able to use the default Pragdivyato and in the meanings of Tatra Jataha, Mathurayam Jataha, also Tatra Bhavaha, one occurs there. Now only from the context you will know which one it is. Both will be Mathuraha. It could be either one. So that's why I said, because An comes in so many meanings. So it could be any one of them. So that's this form will be the same. That's very important to understand which meaning the pratyaya has been prescribed. Now once you do that, then you know it is straightforward. I think I put in document here is the derivation is Tatra Jataha Saptami Samarthat. One more time, Samarthanam Prathamadva 4182 Adhikaraha. And Saptami Samarthat, because his Tatra is Saptami. Tatra is Saptamiyantam. I mean, this Pratyaya is Tral. Tral comes in Tral comes in the meaning of Saptamyastral. Even though Saptami is not, the meaning Pratyaya Tral comes in the meaning, it conveys a Saptami. Saptamyastral is coming over here. So that's why the Vritti says Saptami Samarthat Jataha Ityarthe Anadayaha Ghadayaschasyo. As we just talked about that, Anadaya is the Panchamahotsargaha, while the Ghadayaha are the Shaishikaha Pratyayaha, Sheshadhikaraha. So they will come as respective. These Ghadayahas, they come after specific Pradipadikani. The An is the Mahotsargaha. He comes, after all. So, Siho, and in Tatra Bhava, same thing, Saptami Samarthat, Bhavaha, Ityarte Anadaya Ghadayashtasyo. Mathurayam Jataha, Atha Mathurayam Bhava, Mathuraha. These steps are all the same. Once you get the Pratyaya An, either by Tatra Jataha, Tatra Bhavaha, one is born in Mathura, or one who occurs or lives in Mathura, and then use Pragdivyato An as the default. Same thing, Halantyam Supodhatu Pradmitikayoho, Taditeshvacham Adehe, and Bhasanya, and Yasyiticha. And the steps are the same as before. So Mathuraha. So this is another use of An we are seeing basically, because I said to you in the book he is clubbed it by the Pratyaha. So the An is going all the way to 4.4.2. So this is just another example of how An can be used in a meaning other than Tasyapatyam. We use it in the meaning of Sasya Devata as a default Pratyaha, and then An will not be the only one. As we said, the specific Pratyaya are going to be prescribed. But right now, since we are only talking about An, we are taking these different meanings. Doesn't mean An is the only Pratyaya that can be used. Of course not. We're saying a variety of them being prescribed. So, and we also saw Tatra Jataha and Tatra Bhavaha. Now the next thing, he jumps to a completely different Adhikaraha, which is the Adhikara of Tasya Bhavastvatalao. From abstract nouns, Tasya Bhavaha means thatness, state of that. Tasya Bhavastvatalao. Look at the number. We are going to Pragdivyato An we are going now. So we are now going in this nice Adhikaraha, which starts from, why we jump in there like that? Because we are taking the variety of meaning in which An comes. So now, An was set as default up to Pragdivyato on 4.4.2. That does not mean that An is not used at all after that. Yeah, true. An is default up to 442. Pradiviyat an. But that doesn't mean paschadna vidhiyate iti. It is also used later, but not as default now. Not as default. For example, when the Prag-Divyat was in 442, now we are going to Adhikara 451119 up to end of chapter, up to end of 51. Apada samaptehe. Tasya bhavastatalo. This Adhikara only goes up to here, which is Brahmanastvaha. 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 So this Adhikara, which is very nice short Adhikara, it has about 18 rules in here. So 17 rules, the sense of thatness. Again, tasya is a prathama nirdishtam, mentioned first in the sutram. So that will be the taking the pratyaha. But when you say, for example, the book example given in the book right now is that shishor bhavaha. So shishu will take the pratyaha. Shishor bhavaha shaishavam. Shishor bhavaha shaishavam. Then surabhi, so saurabham. So means that surabhi is fragrance, saurabham. So one more time, what's happening now is that what you're using is, so right now an is not the default. The default and stopped at 442. We are now coming into 51131, where Panini specifically prescribes an. Hayananta yuvadibhyo an and igantacha laghupurvat. So this is not the default an, but doesn't mean that after 442 an is never used. It just means that an is no longer the default after 442. So here Hayananta yuvadibhyo an igantacha laghupurvat. These two specifically are coming in the meaning of tasya bhavaha, or it can also be in karmani cha, means either thatness, state of that, or the work, job, activity of that. Could be the vamsa shaishavam, could be shishoha karma, athva shishor bhavaha. So it could be the acts of a child or childhood. Childhood will be that. So now we are going outside the adhikara of Prag-Divyat an, because we are taking a meaning in which an is prescribed beyond its default territory. And this adhikar of tasya bhav, we'll be seeing more of this later on in the next page. In the next page, we are seeing it more of this in detail. But for the time being, you're picking out only these two rules. Hayananta yuvadibhyo an, so word ending in the word hayana, or in the yuvadi ganaha. They will take the pratyaya an in the meaning of thatness, or tasya karma, karmanicha. Tasya bhavaha, karmanicha. It's coming from here, karmani is coming down. And igantacha laghupurvat. If you have an igantam pradipadikam, which is a laghu. Laghu means that we defined this sanya of laghu and guru. Remember that? We did that, we have done that in the so raswa is laghu, but it becomes sanyoge guru. So these are coming way back when we define in the here. Rasam laghu sanyoge guru. So laghu means it's a short vowel which is not followed by a conjunct. So if you have a iganta pradipadikam, which has a laghu prior to that, then these words also take a pratyaya and in tasya bhavaha athva karmani. So one more time, we are in the adhikara of tasya bhavastatalo. Anurti also comes from karmani cha. And pratyaya and was not the default here. We specifically prescribed after words ending in the word hayana, hayananta, pradipadikebhyaha, athva yuvadibhyaha, pratyaya and then igantacha laghupurvat. If you're iganta, iganta, so pradipadikam, but it has to have a laghupurva, laghu prior to that. Then we also can use the an in tasya bhavaha athva karmani cha. So both of the examples in the book right now, we have the shishor bhavaha, shishu ends in ukaraha, iganta pradipadikam is a laghu ikara prior to that, and surabhi also ends in the ik, which is the ikaraha, which has the laghu akara prior to that. We get that one. So look at the document here. We did hayananta yuvadibhyo. There's no example in the book, so we didn't take this one. but if you want to look at Kashi Kapasam, you can look at that. And igantat lagupurvat. Lagupurvad igantat shashtyanta pratipadikad bhave karmani chan pratyasyat. So bhave karmani chan pratyasyat. So this says that shishor bhavaha karmava shaishavam. Shaishavam. It says so shishu, and the rest of it is straightforward. Shishu plus nyas, because tasya was shashtyantam. So shashti, so tasya bhavaha anurtya tasya is coming down from 51119. Pratya earned by 51131 because shishu ends in a ik, is a lahu ikara prior to that. And then rest of it is straightforward. Anubandha lopaha, then supluk, and then we do taditeshva shamadehe. We don't need this one, I'm sorry, we don't need this one, urandaparaha. And then or gunaha, because amgang gets the basanya, yachibham, it's the uvarnantamangam, takes the guna deshaha, alontyasya, the ending, uvarna takes the guna desha, becomes shaishoa, and then just like bhargava, same thing, same steps, shaishava. And similarly, why say igantad only? Ghatatvam, you say ghata. So ghata doesn't end in the ik, it's in akarantam. So igantacha lagupurvat we cannot use for ghata. We can only say ghatatvam. We cannot say ghatam, because that is not, it is not in ik. Then lagupurvat itikyam pandutvam, even the pandu, so whiteness. So the property of so potness, state of a pot. Ghatatvam. Pandutvam means whiteness, so state of white. So here also, even though it's igantam, but there is a akara, there is a guru prior to it. So you cannot use igantachalagupurva, so pandutvam. Now what's happening? So this completes this first part of this book right now. And we jumped a lot of places, but we took some more time because you have to get a feel of the adhikartadita, how it works. Now we're going to jump to the next part, which is the, by the way, if you quickly look at apte, so surabhi is, I think, a fragrant substance, and saurabham is fragrance. So let's look at that one. Let's see, where am I? Where is my apte gone? No, I'm sorry. Okay, let me bring apte here for a second. Okay, now if you look at the word surabhi, surabhi is surabhi. Surabhi has different meanings, but surabhi is sweet smelling, fragrant. It's a fragrant substance, and so saurabham is fragrance. The property of the fragrant substance is saurabham. Okay, now we're starting with the pratyaya thaka. Now before we go any further, again the same thing here, we're going to see a variety of meanings. We're going to jump from one to the other meaning. So, because that's the way the book has organized it, not according to the adhikaras of Panini, but taking the pratyaya and giving some meanings for that pratyaya. Now, this pratyaya thak, first thing we want to note is that the thakara of thak would have taken the it sanya by, the kakara is an it, the ka is an it by halantyam. Of course, because the ka is in it, we are going to use the sutram kiticha to do the adi vriddhi. But also the adi thakaraha should have been it by chutu, because pratyadi chavarga tavarga itsyat chavarga. So now, but what happens is that because the thak is, no, so thak. So so it would have been taken the itsanya, but what happens is that Panini specifically has a sutra which says chasyekaha. The tha takes the ika, the tha takes the ika adesha, tha becomes ika, and then is usuktantatkaha. This is an apavada for that. So basically the tha takes the ika, thakara becomes ik, tha becomes ika. And if the angam ends in a is or a us or uk or a takaranta, then we get the third takes the ka adesha. So bottom line is that that the Thakara of Thak does not get the Itsanya by Chutu, so the Vishesha Vidhanam. So, by Tasyekaha, the Ikadesha, unless you have the in Angam ending in is, us, or the Ug is Pratyahara Uk, and or the Takaranta, then we get the Ka Adesha. So one of these will come to replace. Let's say we have the Lasyadikara, Lasyadikara, the L doesn't get the Itsanya by Lashakvatadite. Similarly here, in the Thakara of Thak does not get the Itsanya by Chutu because of the Vishesha Vidhanam by 7350-51. Okay, now what his first meaning is taking is that is used to descendant of somebody. This is one specific meaning which is given in the Sutram, which is now we're going back Adhikara of Tasyapatyam. There is a Sutram which says Revatyadibhya. So 4.146 says that Revatyadibhyashtak. Nothing really complicated is that if there is a Pratipadikam which is in the Gana of Revati etc. Now Revati etc. Ganaha Pratyaya Thak will come here. They will take the Pratyaya Thak. Revatyadibhyashtak. So so they will overrule any other sutra which was coming. If the Pratipadikam is in this Gana of Revatyadi Ganaha, then we'll have to use now normally, just to give you a example, there was Sutram Stribhyo Dhak. We're going to see maybe next time is Stribhyo Dhak, a word like Kaunteyaha, Draupadeyascha. So so these are all the Eya like Gangeyaha. So comes in Gita, of course, Kaunteyaha many times. So if you have a Stri Pratyantam Pratipadikam, then we will the Pratyaya Dhak. So if you can see Revati, ending the Pratyaya Neep or whatever, Neep, Sri Pratyantam, Sribhyo Dhak would have come. But to stop that specifically, Revatyadibhyashtak. So anyway, whatever other Pratyaya might be coming, doesn't matter. If the Pratipadikam is a Revatyadiganaha, Pratyaya Thak is used. So in the Tasyapatyam, so a descendant of Revati, descendant of Revati. So Revatya Apatyam Puman Raivatikaha. So one descendant of Revati. This also goes to show, by the way, that descendant doesn't have to be, Pumsaha. So Striyaha Apisyat. So it can be, or doesn't have to be of a male, can be of a female also. Like, of course, we have like a word like Kaunteya, etc. We have. So Revatya Apatyam Puman Raivatikaha. That's very straightforward. When you add the Tasyapatyam, so Shashtiyantam we take at the Pratyaya Thak, because specifically Revatyadibhyo Apatye Thak Pratyasyat, and then Tasyekaha Angat Parasya Tasya. Not any Thakara in the whole language. If a Thakara follows an Angam, so basically it's Pratyadi Thakara basically. Angat Parasya, because Angasya Adhikara starts from 641 to end of 74. You see how the Adhikara is so important, right? They are very important. Angat Parasya Tasyeka Adesha Syat, Ika Adesha Syat, Tasyeka Adesha Syat. So when we do Tasyapatan Revati plus Nyas Pratyaya Thak, Revatyadibhyashtak, and then same thing, Anubandha Lopa Halantyam, then Supluk Batu 471, Supodhatu Pratipadikayoho, Tasyekaha. So Takara becomes Ik, and then Ta becomes Ika. So then after that, Kiticha, because Pratyaya is Kakara is in it, the Achama Dehe, Achaha. So among all the vowels, the Ekara was the first one. That is the Vriddhyadesha, Adivriddhi, Raivati, Ika, Angam Gashta Bhasanya, Mayachibham, and then Yasyeticha. Similar steps as before. Raivatikaha. So Raivatikaha, descendant of Revati, doesn't have to be immediate son, could be any lower down the line also, could be grandson, great grandson, whatever. So this is a specific sutram where Thak was prescribed after these words in the Revatyadi Ganaha in the Tasyapatyam Ityarthe. Now, the next thing now, again the same thing. I know time is running out. give you some homework maybe. It says that one born in a particular place or time. See, this one again, I'm not finding a good. Vasantikaha. Okay, let me see what I found, and maybe you can do some homework now and have some fun also. Is that there is a sutram, Vasantikaha. This sutram Vasantacha, Thai Syat Chandasi. So only after single Pratipadikam Vasanta, Vasanta Ritu, spring, Vasantat, Thai Syat Chandasi. Look at the number please, 43120. I hope you know able to appreciate what is the domain of this rule. Because we just saw today the adhikara of Sheshe started from 4292. It goes up to the adhikara of Tasya Vikaraha 43134. And the first meaning in this adhikara is 4325 Tatra Jataha. Prior to that, Panini sets all the default Usaga Ausrikaha Pratyaha in this adhikara of Sheshe, right from here up to 5324. And there is Sutram Vasantacha. So now Vasantacha, I'm glad we are practicing now this, because Vasantacha says that following the word Vasanta also, the Pratyaya, in fact, Pratyaya is not even Thak, it's Pratyaya Shtai, by the way, it's not Thak, it's Shtai. Pratyaya Thai can be used in any meaning in the Shesha Adhikaraha. So, in the book what he has is that he has it as in a particular place or time. Now what is that now? Is Tatra Jataha meaning. Tatra Jataha. The Vasantacha is not confined to Tatra Jataha meaning. Vasantacha will be in any Sheshika-arthe. So in Sheshe. So in Sheshe we could have used Vasantacha, because Vasantacha says that Vasanta Shabda Chandasi Vishay Time Pratyavati Shaishikaha. Not only Tatra Jata. Tatra Jata only starts from 4325. So as I said to you, because these defaults which are set from 4293 to 4324, they are for the entire Shesha Adhikaraha, not only Tatra Jataha. On the other hand, those which are set below here under Tatra Jataha, of course they will be for Tatra Jataha meaning only. Like these down here, they only Tatra Jataha. But this one Vasantacha comes before Tatra Jataha. So this Vasantacha says that after the Pradipadikam Vasanta, technically only Chandasi, not Bhashayam, only in the Vedaha. The Pratyachai can be used in Shaishikaha Pratyaya, Sheshe, any meaning up to the Sheshadhikara, in the Sheshadhikaraha. And one of those meanings is Tatra Jataha. So now, if you see in the book, it's different. So we have to, I think we have to change this. So this Pratyaya is not Thak, it is Thai, first of all. Secondly, it's not limited to one born. And it's not place, because Vasanta is a Rutu. So place also doesn't make sense, because it's a Rutu, it's talking about a season. So you cannot say born in the place really, you know. So we can only time, I think. So now one born in the Vasanta Ritu, not necessarily born, but in any meaning, in the Shesha Adhikaraha, after the Pradipadika Vasanta, Pratyaya Thak not Thai, Pratyaya Thai not Thak can be used Chandasi. So this needs to be completely changed. Pratyaya is not Thak, it is Thai. This is not after any Pradipadikam, only Pradipadikam Vasanta. Not only in the meaning of Tatra Jataha, but Sheshe, any meaning in Sheshe, it's a Sheshika Pratyaya. And then, I think place probably won't make sense. We're talking about a Rutu, about a season. So we'll stop with that now. So Vasantikaha, it says Vasante Bhavaha, someone which occurs is talking about a month. You know, the 2 months in the Vasanta Rutu. So it's talking as Vasante Bhava, you can say Masaha, a month which occurs in the springtime. Vasante Bhava, so you can take Vasantikaha, Masaha. Once you get that, then this Prakriya is straightforward. pratyaya ngi, because we have using tatra jataha meaning. So using 431 tatra bhava, I'm sorry. In fact, we have to make one more change now. We're not in tatra jata, tatra bhava we are using. It's not like the month is born in Vasanta. The month occurs in Vasanta Ritu. So in fact, change that also then. So in the book, because at least this meaning we are trying to use here is, it doesn't have to be in tatra jataha meaning, tatra bhava I'm using it here. That's probably meaning which makes sense over here. So Vasanta plus ni plus thai. Once you do that, then same thing, halantyam tasya lopaha, and then supluk supudhatu prajapatikayoho tasya kaha adi vriddhi, and then angam gets the bhasanya yes teacher. These steps are not different, same steps we had before. So one more time, this pratyaya thai can be used of the prajapatикam vasanta only in any meaning in the shesha adhikaraha, not tatra jata only. In fact, here we use tatra bhavaha. It's a month which occurs in the springtime, and technically only chandasi. So we get vasanta plus ni, anubandha lopaha, supluk, tasyekaha, adi vriddhi, vasanta, and then yachibham yasyaticha. Let's stop with that. Next time we'll take we start from here. It's going to be a bit of a struggle here, because even in next class we are going to have some difficulty justifying the form samajikaha. Not difficulty, but just see in what sutram can we take this for homework, please. Can you try to find for homework samajikaha, how you would derive that, and the word vaidikaha. How about that? Vaidikaha also, we have to have some. Vaidika is like we say Vaidikaha Purohitaha. Just like we had a problem with Vaishnavaha, same thing Vaidika is going to be difficult to find a sutram which exactly fits that meaning. So for homework, try to see if we can derive Samajikaha and Vaidikaha. Okay, and we'll continue next time. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhyata Nishachar Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Bharataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittare Sada Bhotame Bhorama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Ondama Iti. You okay, Kalpesh?